sense of the physical impact of the foreclosure crisis. And, just this lot over here, 9 months ago, there was an abandoned house on that. Right next to this building, another vacant lot, same thing. Those two houses were taken down pretty much at the same time. There are two entities in the city that have the resources and the authority to carry out demolitions. One is the city of Cleveland. It can remove property as a health and safety issue. It can still be in the name of the titled owner, but because it's a threat to the health and safety of the community, it can be evaluated as such, and through a lot of due process, people notified, but then that can be removed. The county land bank, the Cuyahoga County Land Bank, also has the authority to remove property, but only property that is in their name. So property that comes to them by way of either title donation or through delinquent tax foreclosure. They then own it and possess it. They evaluate it. County Land Bank, by the way, has been the most vigorous entity to restore properties. They've restored over, under their jurisdiction, 1,200 properties.
2,500 those are just.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
2,500.
Much different.
Better stay up to date.
Yeah, I was on the right track with the wrong numbers. But okay, that's fantastic. And just to, I don't want us to grow, in the cement here, but it's important to understand that when they permit the restoration of a property, they hold the title to that, and it's called a deed in escrow. And what they do is they say, don't just tell me you're going to restore it. You have to restore it to code. So yeah, these are very, very serious and genuine efforts to restore those properties. It's a major engine. So what I hope you see before or as we approach Ernest Turner's home is that we don't take lightly the removal of property, but vacant abandoned property becomes a leech on the neighborhood, and that has to be removed to pave the way for the restoration. We have an issue with vacant land, and that's something that all of us, the city of Cleveland, will be wrestling with, how to purpose that land into a common purpose, so planting rows of trees, adopting parcels. This street, we're going to see two examples. One, a vacant lot that was converted to stormwater retention by the Holden Arboretum in conjunction with the community, identified parcels, and then point that out. And then right next door to Ernest, he is applying for adoption. I think got good news on Friday that that's on its way. But that's something else that we're pushing. That's a way of enhancing private property, but also putting the vacant lot into caretaker's hands. So we'll just walk along.
So as we're walking down,
okay.
if you might refer to this map, which will show the houses in green were the existing residents we assisted, and I can almost guarantee you, if there's a new porch, there's a 75 to 80% chance Habitat did the new steps in the new porch.
We're on Boulevard, and we'll see the situation. Yes.
Emphasize the confidential. This house that we talked about right here. About 5 years ago, they found a dead body in this house. So that's one of the positive things about removing, because that's a magnet for all kind of criminal activity. And as you see, we're just 4 blocks away from the projects here, which is a magnet for a lot of crime.
How much time do we have today?
Well, until people.
I think it was an hour and a half. Was really hour and a
Oh,
half.
it's an hour and a half.
It was
So-
advertised as an hour and a half.
I'd kind of like to start here also because
Should we just like walk down while you're talking, maybe?
I can.
Yeah.
Well, I have to walk backwards.
You can run 26 miles, right?
Okay, we'll get to Ernest's house, and I'll tell you about how Habitat became involved.
Okay.
And then I won't have to walk backwards.
You been, Chief?
Good.
Yeah. So wait, you work the whole city, or
I'm bureau manager now. So all that means I'm in charge of all the
see the
inspections.
chief? You're the chief of chiefs.
I'm the chief of chiefs.
Wow. You still having fun? This still driving you freaking crazy?
Oh, always driving you crazy. I've
Now that I'm
learned.
not in the second district, not driving him is as crazy.
I miss you so much. You have no idea.
Ooh, Jeff Ramsey on the phone. He wants to talk to you. Got him.
That's a guy. Who's
Look at this. Wow.
yeah, not bad.
Ah, it's deep.
Yeah, they took this down 2 years ago.
Wow.
This was a county.
You probably know every parcel in Cleveland, right?
No. I just happened to be out here the day we were taking it down.
Wow.
We're getting ready to take down probably maybe close to 900 properties.
In 2017.
We've taken down over 8,000 since Mayor Jackson took off.
Wow. And we have another, how many to go?
5.
5,000? Okay. Because I know we have about
Now, think
1,200.
about here. If you build some of those new condos that they're making with the rooftop, you probably have a phenomenal view of downtown.
Downtown?
Yeah.
I mean, this is a high spot, but you could probably build freaking 6 or 8 or more
Uh-huh.
up here. Put those third floor patios. That'd be cool.
See, I'm
This is-
so
let's-
hopeful. This
let's
is
face it.
prime. This is
Right,
great
let's
real
face
estate.
it, this is how Tremont got its start. Tremont was the biggest shithole. I mean, I remember when I in the 80s, I worked at U-Haul,
This is open.
and I used to rent to people at Tremont. And if I rented to somebody in Tremont, I knew it was going to get stolen.
Really?
Yeah.
The U-Haul truck.
The truck, whatever they rented, we used to rent all kinds. We used to rent tools and stuff. So if they rented a rototiller, I knew I'd never get it back. So I'd go to Tremont all the time, and I'd go find, I'd actually go find the stuff.
This was in the 80s? Early 80s?
80s, yeah. So 83, 84 to 90, I was the general manager there at Clark. And but Tremont was such a shithole.
I'm very hopeful about this
And
neighborhood,
to
man.
see this, it really does remind me a
It
lot of.
it takes vision, though. I mean, look at these structures, though. I mean, back in the day, look at this. Big ass porch with a deep ass backyard. Look at this.
No, and that's actually cool back there.
Yeah. But it's that perception, reality.
Yeah.
People are afraid, And I think we'd be lying if we didn't say it's a race thing too. Because I'll be frank, whenever I meet white people that live here, Keith, I'm always surprised a little bit. I'm like, oh, you do. I don't know if this is bad. That's perception, but it's like, oh, you live here? Okay. Joe Simperman was by today.
See Bob. Bob convinces I live in the neighborhood. Wait a minute.
Not Shaker Square, you live here? Yeah.
She can like ask whatever she
What do you say about Simperman?
Yeah, he came by today to meet about Global Cleveland. I miss that guy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
90,000 when it's really worth 45,000.
And I know, on like the commercial corridors that I have worked on, that's probably around the city where like
Would have been a different city, yeah.
I think that because Ohio City is a hot market.
It just seems like people that are very passionate, idealistic, sometimes the system just crushes them. That the system just crushes them, Yeah, well, that kind of happened to you.
No, yeah.
Now you talk.
There's only so much
She
you
didn't want me to give me due diligence time to come in with an inspector. She didn't want me to bring an inspector.
can. Too many discouraging things happen. That ruins your spirit.
You have latitude now, though, right? You have a little freedom now? Good. my struggle is always to convince my colleagues that the work is here, not in there.
Yeah.
That's the shift that they don't freaking get. I love this project too. Based on-
Playing very experimental. This was just coming online when our work began here. It was undertaken by Botanical Gardens and Holden Arboretum. And the idea is that there's stormwater retention below the ground. And then what do you want to do with above the ground? So this one is actually my favorite because it's relatively untampered with, and it's just so orderly looking in terms of the birdhouses. The other two lots, one is I got well, actually both of them have swing sets on them, and sounds like a good idea, but if you're living right next door, it creates a little friction. So there's always one of the things you go in neighborhoods is that for every action there's
a reaction,
there's
right?
a couple of reactions.
Right.
So, but this is a multi-purpose repurposing, if you will, of a vacant lot.
I guess that would be the soul that goes in there.
Exactly. They had a community meeting. They went to every house and asked residents what they wanted here. And I went to the meeting and I told them basically this is what we want. We want a passive space, not an active space, because on some streets they have an active space like a playground, and they didn't turn out well at all. So I wanted something that would draw the residents just to hang out, something that's aesthetically pleasing. So this is, like they said, this is the best. This is very good. And then if we turn around and look at the greenhouse here.
Beautiful. Thank you for sending me that note, Bob. It was good news.
Oh.
Your wife did. It was good news.
She.
It was good
Yeah,
news.
she-
You probably, freaking biting your fingernails.
Oh
waiting.
yeah, huge. I mean, but that was the premise we were operating on all along. Was that we're not a daycare.
Mhm.
You know.
Wow.
And it's good that somebody sees it the same way. You know.
So Catherine actually came out of the CDC world. I have to send her a note.
Yeah?
Yeah, Catherine Donnelly. She used to work for Tremont. She's around. She's a social justice person. So when I saw her name, I'm like, you were in good hands.
Oh well.
Yeah, you're in good
Yeah,
hands.
actually, she, I guess, is legal aid or whatever for. This is not. I'm trying to think of the even. I'm pretty certain.
She works for a private firm now, right? No?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just.
And I heard about DJ Doc. That's phenomenal.
DJ. But yeah,
That's
he's.
phenomenal.
Well, he didn't.
East End, yeah.
East End didn't want to. I said, well, come by, take a look. I said, if it works for you, but if you find someplace better,
Mhm.
it won't hurt my feelings. I mean, I'm just an offer. So he's gonna have 20-some kids in there.
That's cool.
Rapping and.
That's cool. And your son's an inspiring rapper too, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
I love it.
In fact, he's
love it.
He's working with Doc at the Fresh Camp down here at the Salvation Army
In East Cleveland, is
in East Cleveland or Euclid or whatever.
Okay.
He's working for Doc all summer.
Wow.
As a music. He's not only talented, but he has lots and lots of music theory.
Okay.
He took, we gave him piano lessons since he was fourth grade. Fourth grade. Wow. And then when he was going to Tri-C High School, he was doing the dual credit courses at Tri-C, and he was getting piano lessons from the pianist for the Cleveland Jazz Orchestra. He said he was getting like $80 an hour piano lessons for free because it was a class. Wow. So he's got lots of real
music theory and so I mean for creating the beats and everything. He's
That is cool.
he can add an element to some of these kids. You know?
The musicality to it.
Right.
That is cool.
No, I would just I was trying to find the email letter, but I think Catherine works with Natalie Debo. She's Moore Yorkovich and Debo. Gus Frangos, Land Bank. Was when this all came about. He says, "Here, let me get you a good attorney."
So you didn't have to pay out of pocket?
No, we paid for this.
Oh, okay.
But he said, "Let me get you somebody that can."
See, you got friends in high places, man. It's true.
And you know, we're kind of like floundering. You know, here we get this letter from the Attorney General's office. We talked to Natalie. Boom. The next day she says, "Yeah, I gave the Attorney General a call." Oh, okay.
Just like that.
Yeah, I mean, she's that's Natalie Debo, I guess, pretty high-powered attorney. So
save that number. Save that information.
Save that.
Yeah, I didn't think your story was going to end that easily, though. That's
well, we're doing our summer program. As they're talking about where we're going to walk, I'm thinking, well, don't go by our street because there's 30 kids out there playing right now.
That's vibrancy, though. That's vibrancy. That's a good thing. Let me go and record this.
So we're going to hear from Habitat at the next stop where the couple of their houses are.
But I want you to notice, as you walk, you're going to see a lot of houses that need work. But you don't need to focus on those because that's not what I focused on. I focused on the houses that were like Ernest's and this lady's and the yellow house. Houses that were well taken care of that showed me there were invested stakeholders in the neighborhood. And that was very important to getting us involved here.
To that point, we have a whole stretch.
Yeah.
So, Jerry, what's new, man?
Did you know about the Japanese settlement?
I didn't know about the Japanese settlement. See, yeah, no, this shit is like onions, man. Like you peel it apart and you learn more, yeah.
Did you see, I know you read the article where they're trying to turn Harlem into Soha. Did you see that?
No.
Rename Harlem, dude, to Soha.
Dude, so what?
Soha.
So hot.
South of Harlem.
Oh, jeez.
So from Columbia, you know.
Branding, right?
Yes.
Branding,
They're
gosh,
trying to
man.
brand it. And people are like, you can't brand Harlem. That's the branding right there.
But did you pick up the one dude, Ernest? You know how he was describing this neighborhood?
Yeah.
I'm learning that for every neighborhood, there's always a hood. And he's like, more Black is the bad part, you know?
Yeah. Oh, the 4 blocks out the street. The projects.
So it's like wherever you are, there's always a project. There's always the other, right? How's it going at your shop, man?
It's going good, man.
Yeah. I saw that you had a training this past weekend.
We had a really good organizing training. About 28 people.
Nice.
21 came back on Saturday.
Nice.
It's really good.
Nice.
Trying to figure things out. It's good.
You're on track. You're absolutely on the right track. What's been the biggest surprise, though?
I would say that it was so laid back. That coming in, trying to create the structure that I want to see.
It wasn't always welcome.
Yeah.
You got work to do, man. You got work to do.
I mean, I'll be honest. I met some folks and I'm like, yo, these people don't fit this model. But Tom's like, well, they've been here a long time. So wrestling with that, right? The thing is, like,
Jerry, this is a marathon. I know you want to. Yeah.
But I'm always big on like who's has the right seat on the bus.
Oh, right.
That's just me, you know what I mean?
Right. I think organizations stay healthy when there's always new
Sometimes
blood.
you gotta rotate
New
those
blood.
seats, yeah. And it doesn't mean that they're out of the bus. It means that there's some people that are doing certain jobs that shouldn't be doing.
Wow.
That's just when I take it.
Wow, wow,
But it's a great place to work. It's a great place to work.
That's one of my dream jobs too, the dream organizations to work with, because the work is so freaking valuable, man. Man.
I go home with a smile on my face.
Man. But you're pacing yourself though, right? You're not working crazy hours? Or trying not to?
I am right now. Tom's like, Jerry, you better take some days off.
That's what I'm saying, man. This is a marathon, dude. To pace yourself.
Dealing with that, and then I'm trying to navigate my son's college.
Listen,
You already got through that.
but listen, you know, I think what I know about you, man, you're probably very planful.
Yeah.
This shit works out.
It works out.
This shit works out. We haven't seen Drexel. He went to see it.
Right.
Yeah, you know, I mean, and keeping mental note, the Cleveland Foundation has a scholarship program. Yeah, yeah, and you just have to be a Cleveland resident. It's not income qualified.
Oh, it's not in?
No.
I'm working with Dr. Chuck now. I'm trying to,
Really?
because I want to go to grad school. So
Really?
He's trying to get me into one of the leadership fellowships at Mandel. If I can do that, it would be really great.
What's your undergrad in?
My undergrad is in organizational leadership.
That is
and
so-
a minor in communication.
Wow, so you did the organizational behavior development stuff, right? That's what my graduate degree is in. Yeah.
So, but I want my master's in nonprofit management.
All right.
Brick porch. And we said, well, man, we don't
But
do
your
that.
case is crazy expensive though,
Finally,
too.
her son talked her into letting her put that step so she can use the front entrance now. We're approaching our 3 houses on Bulldog. Now, I'll tell you, this shouldn't talk too loud, but we did the new railing and stuff here. But this house really, it is occupied. And that's probably asbestos in those shingles, so that's probably not going to be a good candidate if it ever becomes available. But here's our 3 houses. The olive colored one, the yellow one, and then this one over here.
You're on a hill.
So let me tell you how we got
Yeah, this all used to be a bluff. This area used to be a pure historic time. This was a bluff. There was a lake. There was a lake that ran into Lake Erie from here, right? Prehistoric lake, man. What's going on, Eric? Good to see you, man. How you been? Good. So have you set a date? No, I don't want to pressure you. I'm just kidding. Season? Okay. Of 2018, fall of 2018? Yeah. Pace yourself, man. How's she adjusting to Cleveland?
Which was right at the end of the foreclosure crisis and the Great Recession.
She's downstairs.
And all you had to do was drive up any street and saw multiple houses boarded up. And I said,
That's cool.
well, you know, you can rehab a house a lot cheaper than you can build a house. And then we said, well, why don't we see if we can use habitat rehabs as a catalyst for neighborhood revitalization. So one of our first experiments was over on Colfax behind Burton Bell Car, and primarily between 75th and 71st Street. And I will tell you, Colfax looks a lot different today than it did when we got there. We did 7 complete rehabs, and we helped 14 existing homeowners. But the criteria we look at when we do adopt a neighborhood, it's like, are there invested homeowners in the neighborhood? Are there amenities like public transportation and schools and libraries? And are there grocery stores within easy commute? And is there Jay Westbrook, I said. No, I didn't say that. And so we put out some RFPs, and I'm interested in this neighborhood because actually I drive through it every day back and forth to work. And I knew there was potential here, but people kept saying, do not go to this area. So Jay said, let's take a drive. John Hopkins, Jay, and I took a drive, and then Rob Grimm, I said, Rob, you better come take a look too. And I always say, you leave your rose-colored glasses in the suburbs, and don't look at the junk, look at the possibilities. Now, we never would have looked at this neighborhood had a few things not happened first. And one was the demolitions, okay? Because the demolitions cleared away a lot of the junk, which is magnets for crime. and rodents and etc. Second was there was an inventory done by thriving communities. Third, and this was unique to our experience so far in neighborhood revitalization, there were inner city churches willing to partner. That is not as common as you think. Not to say inner city churches aren't engaged, but they're usually doing their own thing and don't have the resources to get involved in many others. But we found the Buckeye Ministers Alliance in action. Did I get all that right? Buckeye Ministry right. Okay, I'm close enough.
80%.
Woodhill. And we thought, man, that is a real selling point for us. And finally, we looked for some folks who could invest in our work here. And that's where St. Luke's came in. And I think St. Luke's, if truth be told, and we're telling the truth here today, they needed a little convincing. And I think Habitat had to earn their respect that we could deliver on what we said we could deliver. What we said was, we don't want to come into this neighborhood for 1 year. We want to come for a minimum of 3 years. And we don't want to just do 2 or 3 houses. We want to do at least 25 houses. So St. Luke said, here, we'll give you a 1-year grant, and you come back. Let's see how this goes. We've now had our second and third year grants, and by the way, we'll keep coming back. He knows that, right?
Yeah, of course.
So once we're in a neighborhood, we're committed to that neighborhood, and we want to stay in that neighborhood. Fortunately, there was immediate availability of houses. All of the houses we did here were what they called year 16. Lease for 15, purchase the 16. Now, I'm going to be objective in that success of that program, but let's put it this way. It leaves lots of vacant houses for us to rehab. And
What do you mean? What do you mean, John? So what happened?
And sometimes they're 120-year-old houses like this, and sometimes they're 15-year-old houses like this and this. But whether they're 15 or 120, they generally need a lot of work, because once a house is vacant for 1 day, the night harvesters come in. And I think you know what I mean by the night harvesters, which, by the way, they come out in the daytime too. All right? And so they strip everything, and by the time they're done, basically it's almost a gut rehab again. This house had so much mold, we even had to tear out the subflooring. Families are in these houses. We were delightedly astounded when the appraisals came in for these houses, because they came in, the high was 90, the other two came in the 80s. And these houses, again, average monthly payment, $365, $375 a month, 15-year notes.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Renters do not revitalize neighborhoods. Homeowners revitalize neighborhoods. They don't have the luxury of saying, I'm moving in 6 months. This is their stakehold. Because as I indicated earlier, they walk in day one with $20,000 equity or wealth in their pockets. Habitat is the only program in Cleveland that does that. And that's a very sad fact, okay? Because you can do other programs, but they're not going to be at 0% mortgages, and you're not going to walk in with $20,000 equity in your pocket. So we like this street. We like Grandview. We like the rest of Buckeye neighborhood we're working in. And we're going to have a chance to see what a finished Habitat house looks like. And we'll talk about some of the challenges we face. But we've already acquired another house on Grandview to keep going. And as houses become available, such as that apparently great candidate down the street, we look into it and see if we can acquire it. We want to be in this neighborhood. We're committed to be in this neighborhood. We know it's only over time that the transformation occurs. Any questions? Any money? Gotta always be looking. Hey, the other thing we noticed in this neighborhood, because when we're out here, we help existing residents, whether they're homeowners or not. But I'll tell you what is critically needed in these neighborhoods. It's a critical home repair program, particularly for the elderly and infirm. They can't afford to do new windows. They can't afford to do the roof. They need a new furnace or a new hot water tank.
This is Nelson.
They can't afford it, and we can't afford
This
it.
is, oh, hey, what's going on, sir?
I believe we're going to have the resources to start a pilot program
Oh, can I call you can I call you about an hour or later this afternoon? I'm on a walk right now. Yeah.
Averaging $17,000 of repairs.
Yeah. What time would be a good time to call? Like your cell. Okay, cool. Thanks, Amber. All right, bye.
If you're eligible,
How you doing, Miss Horton?
for our program.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's scary.
Next generation. It's not preserved for demolition. It's preserved for the next generation. Is there an application in the basically 3 criteria. You have to need affordable housing. And when you're paying $800 a month rent, and that's 50% of your take-home pay, you need affordable housing. Second, you have to have the ability to pay a zero-interest mortgage that averages $365 a month. And third, you have to have some skin in the game. You have to work 250 hours on your house or other similar houses. Then, once you meet those 3 initial criteria, then we want to see, did you pay your rent over the last year? Because if you didn't pay your rent, you're not going to be paying your mortgage, right? So that's the basic entryway 3 criteria. And we'd love to have you. If you qualify, come on in.
Yeah.
I saw your picture.
Picture. Oh yeah, with Bella. Yeah. Thank you. She's. I have such respect for that. I'm glad she's our board chair. I'm glad she's our board chair. She cares about you guys. She cares about you guys. I don't know if you noticed that.
That's good. That's a good thing.
You been good though? You been good?
Yeah.
Okay. Any plans for the summer? Any trips? What are you doing?
Pompano Beach. Went to a cabin.
And what?
The last thing in our study, Habitat House, is to
Nice.
make it abandoned housing that have been pushed for a long time to be on the reservation list.
Nice.
Now,
Wait, you doing it solo?
We have a girls.
Oh, girls group.
Writing a book. And then later on that
themes, hopefully, of this walk and
Good for you. Good for you. Because you bust your butt this
we
year.
have all these moving parts.
Well.
The city and the county, as I talked about, is actually carrying out the
months. That's it.
They do the best they can to try to
Look at all you've done.
prioritize
Look at all you've done.
sense of prioritization.
Look at all you've done.
We still need to have a conversation but you've been out about too.
Yeah. It's interesting times. Interesting times. Yeah.
I still want to have it though.
Yeah.
I think I still need it.
I probably need it more from you than from me. So yeah. It's I'm still having fun, but you know what they say is sometimes you have to jump the shark.
Yeah.
You know, get in front of it. Yeah.
And that's when
I've had like a 5-year rule with jobs, and I'm at 3 right now. So I don't know what that says. You're out?
Got a meeting
Thank you, Dennis. Thank you so much for coming, and we'll coordinate another walk. Yeah, isn't it?
Pretty amazing.
Right. This is the before.
Yeah.
This is the before.
Anyway.
Good to see you, Dennis. Take care.
it seems to be your bag.
But I enjoy this, but sometimes it's not valued by the organization.
Got it.
You know? So,
And you still got to do it.
because I think it's important. It's for my own edification.
That's where I was last.
Really.
There was a passion, but the organization was
I'm still pushing though. Just please know I'm still pushing. See, I'm still pushing. Yeah.
getting clearer and clearer. And you're like, what you're doing is not really.
Yeah,
It's
but
affiliated, but it's not.
yeah, some of the trainings that I went to, it said that, hello,
Hi.
that you and this could apply to anything, is that your organization has a mission, an agenda,
Yep.
and you have to articulate your own mission and agenda within the organization.
They have renewed our thing.
renewed. But this is private. You're out.
Mike,
Take care.
I got a 3 o'clock.
Good to see you, Chief. You didn't say your name. Don't worry about it. And this is all academic. This is all academic. Yeah. We didn't say anything specific. I could stop. I'll stop just to be safe. Is it? No. Let me stop. Just to be safe.